to me, the loyalty's not there.
Exactly, because as a best friend, your mindset is supposed to be, oh, this person ever. I couldn't do that to my best friend, whether or not they're dead or not. That's just how it's supposed to be. Like, you're never supposed to have to worry about coming back from a craziest time ever of being shot 5 years in the future to coming home and the person you're about to say yes to is married to the person who's supposed to be your day one.
But that's why it's so bogus and why I got upset. Because this is the problem. Y'all did it behind my back because y'all thought I was dead. So for real, what was y'all doing when I was, what is that? Air quotes, alive. Because I was still alive, but it was a whole Twilight Zone situation. But bringing it to real life, if someone passed away or moved to another state and y'all lost contact, or whatever the case, and you're with your best friend's ex, or you're the boyfriend and the ex-boyfriend, and you're with your ex's best friend, like, no.
Yeah,
no.
It's just, it just doesn't commute. It just doesn't make sense.
Because, to me, you've been shicey the whole time because
why all of a sudden, just because we're gone, does it feel like, oh, I feel like I could be with her best friend?
But I mean, y'all was thinking about that junk the whole time. Y'all was flying behind my back. You can't tell me y'all weren't flying behind my back.
And then, this ninja
What?
ends up cheating on the wife with the ex-fiance. Or was supposed to be fiance.
Yo, with a girlfriend.
So, it's like, bruh, you married this girl for nothing.
Again, I'm glad you brought that up. Because as the best friend, I would be like, I'm a plan B. The reason why you with me, I'm a backup girl. Like, I too, even after the loyalty part, because the first part is the loyalty part why I won't do it. But the second part of it, I always was one of those girls like, I don't want to be the plan B. Like, because one girl's out the picture, now you want to be with me now. You know what I'm saying? And it would disgust me that a man that dated heavily and because he asked her best friend to marry him. Like, they were going to be fiancés if the text went through. So you basically are asking me to marry you. And see, first of all, we wouldn't even got that far. Because if he would have tried to flirt with me, like, we could console each other and be like, oh my gosh, I miss such and such. I miss Sarah so much. Da, 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 da. But it's not going any further than that. We're friends, or we get distant and become acquaintances because the only connection is the best friend and his ex-girlfriend because he thought she is deceased. Like, that's the only connection we have, in that we loved her. Period. Like, I'm not flirting with you. I'm not building up that type of relationship with you. Now, if it came apart, I could say the only reason why our relationship would go deeper would be if he ended up getting married to another woman, you know, say after 5 years passed, and they had a baby, and I was the godmom. That's where our relationship would lie. Like, oh, I'm the godmom for his child. But as far as actually marrying my best friend's ex, it would not happen. And he can't, and he would talk, and I would be mad at him if he would even try to talk to me. because that's my best friend and you're being disloyal to her and you were trash. And actually, I'm glad she didn't marry you. And that's why she was hesitant about it. What I'm upset about now in the story, like you brought up, is that now she is cheating with him because now he is married with the best friend. But my thing is, the dude doesn't know what he wants. Now he's holding her hand talking about, she's like, oh, that was a mistake. We shouldn't have did that. And then he said, I want to be with you. And then she was like, do you still love him? And then he was like, of course I do. But you're trying to be with me and touch me. You heard me? Exactly. So that means he's trash. Because basically that's probably what him and the best friend was doing actually before she went on that plane. And I'm going to be totally 100. That's how I feel.
Exactly. And I agree a whole lot. What you said makes so much sense. When it comes to a best friend, that's the person you don't think is going to hurt you like that. You know what I'm saying? Other than your sister or your brother or any kind of family member, that's that one person you always feel like is going to have your back or going to protect your mind. And so when they do something like that, it's like, dang, did you ever really have my back? Because it seems like you were trying to get my ex the whole time type thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the premise of the movie really, not the premise of the movie, premise of the episode is very, very crazy to me. I have a question for you.
What?
The question is, let's say you guys shot 5 years, right? And then you come back, and let's say I'm either married or dating somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you never died. Well, one because you never died, that second marriage is not official, right? But after that, because you didn't die, do you expect me to be loyal to you or to the next relationship?
Ooh, yeah, that was the second scenario. Okay, this is a situation with that one. That one was different because I respected her because of the fact she grieved. I didn't respect the time frame, but you can't say when they've been together for 10 years, she grieved for 2 or didn't date for 2. Because I think they said for whatever the length of your relationship, you're supposed to not grieve half, but at least like give yourself time. So hers was supposed to be 5 years before she dated. And if she would have waited 5 years before she dated, she would have knew that her husband didn't die. But, you grieve differently. You feel like you're ready differently, and because she was going to those those group therapies and things, so hers might have been accelerated. But this is a situation.
The thing is, she met the person at the group therapy, so
right,
it's kind of the group therapy's fault.
Right. So for me on that one, and then give me your thoughts. And then I'm trying to collect mine. So give me your thoughts on the situation of you actually being married. And then you date someone that's unrelated to any of us in group therapy because you thought your son passed away and you thought your wife was deceased as well. How would you react when the husband, not with the husband, when the wife came back after 5 years because it was a freak type of accident?
I feel like if I'm just dating the other person, I feel like because I am technically married, my mind would automatically go with the person who I'm married to because, you know, legally and emotionally, I probably would still be married to him. I would cut off the relationship that I'm currently in, just depending on how far it's gone. Because if I've asked this person to marry me, then that's a different story. Because it's like, oh my gosh, I've already got my mind set on this person being gone. Now this person's in my life. I kind of, it put a curve in, but I really do love this person. I just asked to marry me. So it's one of those catch-22 situations because it's like you don't really know how you would feel.
Unless you're in a situation.
Some people may want to be with that person that would disappear. And then some people may want to be with the person who was there for me during the time that you did disappear. So, dang, I asked a hard question.
I think the jacked up...
It's hard.
Because you don't know until you're in the situation. The thing is that ideally, now, if you're talking about, I think it's two different answers for if it was just you were dating the person exclusively to being married. I think it's different because it's kind of like a thing of when you're dating exclusively and then they ended up missing, depending on how strong the bond is and the length of time y'all been together, that can make a difference when they come back. Or you'll be like, it's just like dating, and just like if they would have moved out of state and you didn't want to do a long distance relationship. And so it's like, I'm so sad that they are gone, and I will always, love them inside, but now I'm dating someone else. I think the marriage part of it, when the person comes back in 5 years, that was your soulmate.
Exactly. It's the person you thought you were going to be with forever. So it's different when you're married to this person. When you're married to this person, it's like, oh my gosh, I finally get the love of my life back, even though you're dealing with another situation. So,
and it is jacked up because your heart... This is a jacked up thing about it because you're going to feel guilty that you are like playing. You will feel like you are playing with the other person's emotions, the person that you are dating's emotions, because your husband or wife came back. Even though you weren't, because in your mind, you fully thought that you would never see them again. So you are preparing yourself to move on, have a different type of future. You love them and respect them, but you're trying to move on. So when they show up, it shatters your world because conversations are going to have to start. But then again, it's a lot because you're still married. But like for me, if I'm still married, it's my husband all day long. And I feel bad that it happened the way the freak accident happened. And I'm sorry I hurt the other person. But I'm going to have to be with my husband. Right. I think with a boyfriend situation, it really depends on how strong our bond is. If it's like the beginning of the relationship, before he left and he was going on the trip and we're like 3 months in, it's like, but if it was like a boyfriend of like a year and a half to 2 years, It's different.